Welcome to Two Moms Save the World. I am one of your hosts, Kate, and our other host is Uzma. And I always ask her, because we do this every Tuesday morning, how her morning was. So Uzma, how was your morning?
Well, today my morning was amazing because it's a Tuesday. And like I always say in every podcast, that's the time I get to converse with lovely Kate and our guests that come. The weather out here is gloomy, so I'm manifesting moving to California.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
There you
Because,
go.
yeah, exactly. Because, it's April.
Yeah.
And it's rainy outside and I can't go for a walk. I can't enjoy nature because I
You
don't
can
like
move
to
to
be wet.
Colorado.
Yeah, but that's cold. I don't like snow either.
It's not. That's a misnomer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have a lot of warm days. Like right now, I went out this morning, it was 60 degrees when I took my dogs out. It's probably 65, pushing 70 right now. It's very windy, however, and we have storm clouds, but it's just sprinkling. It really doesn't rain here that much.
Oh,
We
okay.
get hail and snow, but rarely rain.
Yeah, but even snow. I don't like to get wet in the rain and I don't like to wear my heavy coat in the snow. So, by process of elimination, it has to be California.
Yeah.
The nice sun, the sunshine state, right?
Yeah, we get more sunshine here in Colorado than they do in California. Well, it depends on where you are in California and I guess where you are in Colorado. Anyway.
So how was your morning?
It was good. I'm trying to think. It was nice outside, so we had a good walk, and yeah, just getting my day together podcasting. I have a friend, an internet friend. This is so fun. Somebody I met on the internet, and we talk all the time. She's from Tennessee, and she's coming in today, and we're going to walk down my trail to the new tap house that's walking distance to my house. I brought snacks, and we're going to have lunch together.
Oh, that's so much fun.
I know,
I love
right?
it when, you meet internet people. And
yeah, because you and I have never met.
Never, exactly. I have a friend actually in San Diego, and I'm going to go there in May, and I'm going to meet up with her. And we've been talking for like 3 years.
That's
and
so fun.
Yeah, exactly. And we always imagine what it's going to be like seeing each other in person. So we're going to get to see each other after 3 years. So
that's so fun.
Let me know how your day goes.
I definitely will. And I'm really excited today to welcome our guest, Jules.
Yes, Coach Jules. Yay! Is in the house. Yes. So, Coach Jules, tell us about yourself.
So, about my morning?
Yeah, tell us about your morning. I'd love to hear your morning. I'd love to see how morning
telling us what you do. You're a sustain. God, I can't. It's Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
Sustainable weight loss.
Yes.
Okay.
You got it.
Awesome.
Yes. So, well, I'm in Ohio. So no sunshine today, but it's kind of warm. I started my morning with meditation and good breakfast and coffee. So yes, I love when I start my mornings with meditation. And right now I still use a fireplace.
Oh yeah, so do I. Yeah.
For the morning time. And I love, Uzma, when I see you walking barefoot, whatever you
are. So yeah, grounding. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. So that's what I do in the summertime. So this is my feet strengthening moment. And so far the morning is going well, and I'm happy to be here to chat with you ladies about some, food, weight loss, and all of that journey. So that's going to be fun. And I also have an online friend, but she's in Canada. Never met her, but we've been in a relationship for 2 years now since the COVID time. It's kind of awesome when you have those friends and somehow you connect with them. And obviously Uzma is my friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Met online and shared a little bit of stuff.
Exactly.
We go through. So that's good. So the world is small, right?
Yeah.
But I hate to paint it.
Right.
That's really good. I love that.
That is really good.
So yes, I'm Coach Jules, and I primarily work with women 40 plus, just like I am. My birthday is actually coming up this month, and I'll be 49. Yay.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Okay, so it's coming up. Are you a Taurus?
Yes, I am Taurus. Yes. Uh-huh. Yes, I am pretty classical, I would say, Taurus. Yes, for sure. But yes, I work primarily with women 40 plus, and I just help them transition from the diet mindset to the lifestyle of creating choices that feel effective and enjoyable, one habit at a time.
So habit stacking. I know Uzma is a big friend of habit stacking.
Yes.
She says habit stacking a lot.
I know I do.
Yeah.
I say habit stacking in my posts, when I talk, everything, because I love it. I'm so addicted to it. I think habits are so important to form. Don't you think so, Joel?
Yes, this is where I thrive. And this is a big part of our journey because I'm a big believer that it is not the diet that gets the results. It's that one habit at a time. And the big question I always ask my clients, can you continue with this habit for the rest of your life?
Yes.
And
I like that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like what kind of habits do women put into place that help them with sustainable weight loss? Because there's so many diets out there. Like I've done Whole30. I actually like Whole30, but it's very restrictive. And so I think women feel like at this age, they need to be in these restrictive diets or intermittent fasting to actually lose weight.
Yes, and the word restrictive is the key word. And that's exactly where I come, because we do a lot of mindset work around that. And that's where my goal for them is to help them create more of the abundance mindset and move from the restrictive mindset, because a lot of times they use the restrictive mindset thinking that they are on a diet, and then they're asking a question, well, I've been restricting myself all this life, but I'm not getting any results.
Right.
So that's why a lot of time I obviously talk a lot, learn about them, and then we get to the conclusion that just because they're in a restrictive mindset, it does not equate they are in the restrictive calorie stage.
Okay. So
calorie
let me ask you a quick
Yeah.
question. Do you think that's all because of limited beliefs of the past? Because so many of us grow up with parents or people who restrict things in food. So we think they're restrictive as well.
Or my mom took up smoking back in the 70s to lose weight.
Yep. I remember those days too.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I did it or my mom did it, but I heard the thing.
Yeah, we had a candy jar with cigarettes in it. It lasted like a week, but I was just like, really? Yeah.
Yes. Well, Uzma, yes, to answer your question, I believe that this is one big part of it. It kind of starts with the parents and how mom is modeling her behavior around the food options. Definitely there. And then of course we live in the world that sort of like tells us how we need to look and what we need to eat and what we need not to eat. And unfortunately, a lot of the diets, they promote the restrictions also without an exit plan, because the main thing is that losing weight is not that difficult. It's maintaining the weight, that sustainability factor, which I believe does not relate to any particular diet. Like we are looking for that magic wand somewhere out there, but the magic is us. And it's those behaviors and those habits that really produce the results. That's why the big factor that most diets are missing, that's why they're more restrictive. They're not showing women the way that it can be effective and enjoyable.
And I love how you brought up magic, because we talked about this earlier. And that really relates. I mean, I talk about that a lot in what I do as well. And I think it just resonates across every platform, like how just magical you are, how like really mindset. If you can change your mindset, you can change every single aspect of your life, whether it's sustainable weight loss or, empty nesters trying to get their, figure out what their path is and those type of things. It really is all about mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have a question about what you were saying earlier, like about consistency, right? Do you find that moms are not consistent because they're lazy or because they're overwhelmed or because they're confused on the program of how to lose weight? Why don't they stay consistent and they keep on dropping off?
Yeah, that's a big question. And I think, yes, all those reasons apply for sure. But I also think that if they are relying again on those outside and external sources to get validated and give them the answers, they're not vested in the process. And they're almost like relying, like, show me what to do and I'm just going to do it. So it doesn't work like that. Also, most of the diets, they use one size that fits all, which again does not have that customization.
Right.
So that's why what I have concluded recently, that may help you answer the question, because I was kind of thinking that, because yes, most women, of course, we work with, we are nourishing, we're always like thinking about others and prioritize others and whatever. And then when it comes to us, tell me what to do, I'll just do it.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So, and here's that crush that happens when I work with women and just reveal that one layer at a time. When I start helping them see another world, and of course the mindset has to follow, that's why I have a lot of discussions, and start encouraging that the answers are within them and they possess the magic wand and they're the magic. And then we're creating the tools and the behaviors and all of those little tips that they start believing that I don't need somebody else. And when they start believing in their own abilities and skills and wisdom, and that capable of creating changes, weight loss number becomes like way like on the second burner there.
Yeah.
What comes out
Yeah.
is the woman who suddenly believes in herself and thinks she's enough, she's worth it. And guess what? She can prioritize herself, because now she can step forward, equipped, supported, and knows that she can get there. And her past experiences do not have to really predict her future results.
So I really like what you just said. I was writing a post the other day and talking about women like wanting wealth, right? Do you want a lot of money? And if you say you don't, that's generally a money block, right? But so women, they want money to do all these things. But the interesting thing that happens is in, getting to know themselves, getting to love themselves, getting to just go after what they want. They start just being happy and having fun. And then the money thing just kind of does what it does, right? If they just make enough to do what they want to do, isn't that wealth? Right. So now we're not necessarily talking about money so much. We're talking about how happiness can buy you that wealth. And it's the same with what you're talking about, how it relates to weight loss. It's just once you can clean up your mentality, you can do all of these things.
Yeah.
Yes, I absolutely agree that it starts in a mindset, and that's what puts the vibrational energy out there and draws that vibrational energy back. However, I think when we have a lot of garbage, so to speak, that we believed in, or we've been bombarded with all this information, I think it helps when there is somebody, that coach perhaps, who creates that safe place and also shows them there is another way, leads them, not by telling them what to do, but asking the right questions to help them reflect and make their own decisions.
Right.
Because I don't know what's best for them. And I tell them all up front. I don't know how your body will respond, but I will guide you through the process. I will show you the signs. I will show you formulas. We're going to do a lot of mindset coaching, and I explain to them all in the up front, just telling them that if your mind is not supporting your journey, it's not going to be successful. I'm going to be asking you some tough questions.
Yeah, no, I love that. If your mind is not supporting your journey, I love that.
Yeah,
But, my question is, we're all coaches and we all have coaches because coaches have coaches.
that's right.
Right. And so I'm just wondering, why do you think it's so hard for women to go and invest in themselves and hire a coach and feel supported? Why do you think that everybody thinks they can do it on their own, by Google, by books, by listening to podcasts? Why do people not go and hire coaches and think they can do it on their own?
Well, I think there are many factors, and I think one of the main factor would be probably that belief I am not worthy of investment into myself, because I'm sure they're hiring coaches for their kids, to play better
Right.
piano or, do sports or whatever,
Yeah.
because they matter. It's that sense of priority. And then they also, because they've been kind of like that figure that they're solving problems, they're doing things, and that's why they say, oh, I can do it for me as well.
That's an interesting point.
and
I've not thought of that one before.
Yeah.
Really.
Yes. And I think what they see, it's kind of like my coach likes to use this metaphor, so to speak. So when, let's say we eat dinner, right? And you have spinach in your teeth, but you don't know you have it. And if I'm not there to point it out to you,
Yeah.
you'll just walk around with spinach in your teeth. And I think also that's another factor, that when you don't know what you don't know, and you don't see that spinach in your teeth,
Yeah.
Yes.
and you're this mom and whatever, I'm like holding the entire household, why couldn't I just help myself?
Yeah.
That's how I see it. That's why the role of the coach becomes like, well, hey, I'm going to show you there is a spinach in your teeth, and we're going to walk through that. And then from that, we're going to get to the roots, right? So because if I just, cut the weeds on my grass, they're going to grow back next week.
Yes.
But if I get to the roots, that's when the transformation happens. And that's when they're ready to receive the money, or ready to go through the plan with the weight loss, or ready to prioritize themselves on a schedule. Because when we got to the roots, all that past that we just talked about, and whatever else like blocks them, or whatever, they don't see that spinach, right?
Yes.
That's when it's like, yeah, from this point on, we can move forward.
Yes. Yeah. It
Yes.
really, yeah, they really just need to make that commitment to themselves that, yeah, I don't want to walk around with spinach in my teeth anymore.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love
Cool.
that.
Yeah.
That's
That's
awesome.
why if we create the message to show them.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's absolutely right.
exactly. So, Joel, you talk about sustainable weight. Can you tell us exactly what is sustainable weight? Like, if somebody would be like, does that mean keeping my weight the way it is? Does that mean losing and keeping it the way it is? What is sustainable weight actually?
Yeah, so the way I define it is that it's perfectly fine to have goals for yourself, because I know in the past I felt somewhat trapped with the idea that if I love myself, I cannot sort of like improve myself or have those aesthetic goals.
Yes.
That was my mental belief,
Yeah.
because I looked at it from the perspective, it's either this or that. So that's why what I've learned from my experience, and that's what I teach my clients, because all of them have, not all of them, but a lot of them have the same mindset, like it's either all or nothing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's why I teach them, okay, great. Now let's go ahead and ask this question. Can I love myself? And can I change myself or improve whatever I feel like I want to improve? Because it's perfect. Like I don't want to sit behind the books and thinking, no, I love myself, but I really want to have those shorts on or whatever.
Yeah.
Or I love myself, but I really, really want to have those bikini on, right? And what I've created an opportunity to look at it from the abundant place. And can I love myself? And can I still wear a bikini? Yes,
Right.
I have to work for it. But the main idea here, how I'm going to go about it. Who am I becoming as part of this process? Am I going to be increasing restrictive mindset, restricting my body, restricting my choices, restricting all of that? That doesn't sound good to me. So I don't want to become that person. And if I want to create this change, who am I becoming during this process for me becomes that pivotal point that I'm always like evaluating and checking.
Right.
Am I going too nuts now about like, paying attention to my food?
Right.
How can I make it less restrictive? How can I make it less stressful? How can I make this and that? How can I make it effective and enjoyable, right?
Yeah.
So
Sounds like balance.
Well, this is already making me anxious thinking, like if I want to be in a bikini, to me in my head, it's all like restrict, restrict, restrict.
Yeah.
I can't think of, eating and being in a bikini. I can't. If I wanted to be in a bikini, I would have to restrict. That's my mindset right now. I'm feeling very anxious when you're talking about this.
Yes, and that's a good point. And just like I said earlier, restrictive mindset does not equate that you're actually in restrictive calories.
Well, restrictive mindset can be you're restricting yourself from wearing a bikini.
Yes, for sure.
Right. In your current, like just how you are today.
Yeah.
Put on a bikini. You're restricting yourself from that.
Yeah, I am. Big time.
That's why, yes, we're kind of touching like a few topics here. Like, first of all, so when I talk to my clients, I definitely go a little bit deeper to find out what is the why behind their like weight scale number, for example, right? Because it's not that weight scale number that they attach to, they just don't know that yet. But it's really what that scale number, that bikini gives you. So, and when we get deep to that, when it really becomes that emotional point for them, it's like, this is what I really want. But she thinks she wants that scale number to give that to her.
Exactly.
So then my job as a coach to show her, well, if you start acting more confident, if you start going and playing tennis or whatever it is, but your scale number still stays the same, like, do you think you achieved your goal?
Right.
Guess what they say? Yeah, I don't care what my scale number is. I want that.
Yeah,
exactly.
I want that image. I want to do those things. And that's what I slowly start helping them start doing those things while we're doing all the other.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is embodying like what you're manifesting, right? Become that person, right?
Exactly. Who you are becoming during this process. If you are becoming and constantly continuing moving away from where you want to be, right, then we're not really moving anywhere. So, and when you get to that scale number, guess what? You're going to say, well, now I don't like this in my body, or I don't like whatever. Or I want less. Like, no, we don't even care about that. This is why when the breakthroughs happen for my women, when they come and say like I had this client that I've been working with, and she's been doing great. So lots of, layers we peeled. And then she told me, you know what? I had a conversation with my girlfriend the other day, and I was kind of telling her like, well, yeah, work with a coach and do this and that. And she asked me, so how many pounds did you lose? And I told her, none. She looked at me and she looked at me like, what? But I lost inches, she said, but she also has become a different person.
Yeah.
And in one of our sessions, I did ask her, okay, well, now this is where we are. You're doing this, 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 and that. And remember your why. This is what you wanted to do, but your scale number is still the same. However, her inches lost. I said, so what would you prefer? Your scale number going down by 10 pounds like you wanted, and still be that person who was very restrictive, negative, unhappy, all of that.
Yeah.
Or would you be this where you are right now and your scale number stays the same?
Yeah.
And she's like, I'll take this one anytime because I like how I am right now.
Awesome.
That's amazing. Yeah. I love that. And I think that just sums it all up, right? That's we all are aiming for the same thing. Like, how can we just be happier?
Exactly.
And yes, have the goal if we want to, feel better in a bikini for sure, but being able to have all that balance without beating ourselves up too much.
Yeah, it's all about balance.
Yeah.
Well, and yes, like I do value setting and achieving goals. So
Yeah.
this is part of my value system.
Yeah.
So, and I believe it's perfectly normal. You can still work towards going for that bikini or whatever that physical situation is going to be for you. But again, it's who you're becoming during this process, because that's what I think what we are missing in many diets is so I use macro tracking as a tool to help get to those sort of physical results, but
Right.
also creating a lot of awareness and understanding about the food and science behind creating the weight loss phase, because that's a science. It's very scientific.
Yeah.
It does not quite require restrictive mindset, really. So where I was going with that, I forgot.
Yeah, well, I'll ask you a question while you're thinking about the other one.
Mhm.
Okay, so, with macros and other diets, when you have to measure and calculate and figure out things, so many moms just get overwhelmed. You just want to have it and eat it, or it takes one or two steps. With macros, it's a lot of steps and a lot of understanding. Does that get moms like overwhelmed when they're starting out?
Well, yes and no. First of all, I always start people where they are and we create. So again, it's all or nothing. So like from what you just said, to me, it sounded like all or nothing. So,
Right.
and if I'm here, but I want to be here. So, and a lot of moms or a lot of women, I don't know, we have that tendency. I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
We're kind of like, okay. And we're just making like 50,000 steps right away because we want to go right there.
So this brings us back to habit stacking.
Yes.
Look at that full circle.
Yes, exactly.
Excellent.
Well, wonderful.
So that's why my job as a coach to tell them, oh, let's shrink the change. And we if you decide to go to visit some country, you don't just buy a ticket and go, right? You kind of start doing those little incremental plannings. And that's what I tell them. Okay, we're in this country today. We're going to this country. Okay, how can we create a roadmap and create step-by-step experience and enjoy the milestones on the way? Because if this is the goal here, and it takes us, I don't know, 12 months, 15 months, 6 months, 3 months, I don't know how long. And if you're just focusing on this goal, it's going to be exhausting and frustrating, right?
Right.
So, but if we create the milestones and recognize the successes in between, so we're shrinking the change while we're also, again, working on peeling layers of those beliefs and mental blocks.
Yeah, I like how you talked about, setting the milestones and achieving them. And I would love to throw in celebrating them, because I think, I've just been thinking a lot lately about how we do achieve things all the time. And they could be like, it doesn't have to be this big list of things you have written down, on January 1st. It's just thinking you want something and then actually realizing that you got that thing and then celebrating it, right? We forget that so much, that when we make these little incremental like successes, to really acknowledge them and celebrate them.
Yeah, I love the celebrating, because that makes you feel good and be like, okay, I'm motivated to go to the next milestone.
Right. I am making progress.
I am making progress.
I just realized recently that I feel like that we miss so much of that, because that's how we create evidence, right? There's evidence of we are moving forward. We can do these things. So, anyway.
Yeah. And I also believe for many moms, it should be milestones and small steps, because otherwise then they give up or they don't keep on. Because I was looking at one program, for macros and this and that. And they're like, well, this is carb day. This is no carb day. Make sure you exercise today. They were making us do like 5 things in one day in the beginning. And I was just like, okay. And I just was like, I'm not even joining this, because I can't start off a program with you telling me do 5 things. I need to
I have a carb tracker.
Yeah.
It's an app.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, that brings me to this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect segue, Uzma.
Okay, good.
Let me comment on this. So yes, macro tracking is out there, and it's a very much scientific process. So that's why there's a lot of education involved. And again, I am putting the magic wand of all the education into the women, because by the time they're done working with me, they know how to set their own macros. They don't need a coach. They know how to adjust them. They know all the phases. They know what to do with the phases. They know how to select. They know what science goes behind. They know what to focus on, what not to focus on, depends on what phase they are, because there's a lot to it. However, macro tracking, as I said in the beginning, I use macro tracking as a tool, not another form of diet, not another form of restriction.
Well, I mean, like you said, it's science, right? So we are a big like chemistry lab right here. And some people work better with, your macros are like your fats, your carbs. What's the other one? Fats, carbs. And anyway, so you figure out what does work and what doesn't work for your body. So yeah, I think the education in it is so important, because so many times we try to just figure it out ourselves. And, without somebody that's got the knowledge that you have to say, oh, this is what this means, this is what this means, is very important.
Well, actually, I don't necessarily educate them so much on macronutrients. Yes, macronutrients are fat, protein, and carbs.
That's right.
And we all need them, and we already all eat them, because if we eat food, we eat them. But how they need to be balanced depending on where you are, who you are, and what your goals are. That's where the key and magic happens that you can use. But my main education that I do with women, because I do work with women who have been on this restrictive mindset and many diets, I actually educate them a lot on what it means to eat enough, because a lot of them are underfueled and undernourished. And this is one of my first stages where I usually get women to, and this is where they learn, where they have another phase, which is called maintenance. That's why you need to have an exit plan. So like going back to that sustainability of the weight. So that's why macro tracking has many phases. That's why I love this approach, because you can use any phase, you can plan it for any time of your life, depending on where you are, what your goals are. It has so many choices. It has so many possibilities. And again, you can take that macro tracking and make it just another form of restriction in the diet.
Oh, for sure.
You can take that macro tracking with other steps in between and start just using it, not you to fit it, but it to fit you.
Exactly.
And what it also does over the process of time, it creates informed eating. Not intuitive eating, because intuitive eating, I don't believe in that, but informed eating, because yes, you've measured it, but you also created a lot of feedback loop through you and your body.
Right.
Like, I know my body way more now, and also what it's capable of and how it's responding to different stages that I am in charge to putting it. I have, like this relationship, so I'm just crossing my fingers here, where before I was demanding something and requesting something or whatever. But now it really taught me to feel, to sense, to understand while collecting data. So my decisions are not just emotionally based, but they're also factual. And that helps to create that balance.
Yeah, I love that.
Emotions can drive you crazy.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's a great, a really great point, is, all perspective on how you're looking at it as well.
Yes. And basically what I was just trying to say, if we take a hammer, it's a tool. I can use a hammer to put the nails in the wall, right? Or I can use a hammer to break a house or whatever. It's a tool. It's how it's used. That's why when we just take a tool, like a diet, without addressing the doer, or the user of the tool, things are most likely going to stay the same. And that's the pattern that I observe with my
Oh,
clients.
because you keep using the tool the wrong way.
Because you haven't changed.
That's right.
That's why even though throughout this 8 weeks or whatever the plan is, they tell you what to do,
Right.
the change hasn't actually happened.
Okay.
That's why when
Well-
you get out of the plan, you go back to normal, regain the weight. You don't have an
Right.
active strategy. You haven't changed.
You
You
haven't,
just let them get the tool, apply to you, and that's it.
right. You haven't changed your habits. So Jewel, how could somebody work with you? Well, do you have a
thank you.
website? Do you have a Facebook group? Are you on the IG? Tell us how they can reach you.
Yes, I'm on IG, and it's Be Well Fitness
Be
with
Well Fitness. Okay.
yeah,
And we'll put
that's
all
just
this in the
an-
show notes
I
too.
think it's in the questionnaire as well,
Oh, perfect.
right? All your information. Yeah.
Got it.
Yes, and I also have a partner, Amanda, and we do have a group. It's called Well Women's Community, and it's strictly for women 40 plus. So where we share lots of different tips and yes, work with women either in group coaching settings or one-on-one. So yeah, just
That's fantastic. It's been
Awesome.
so fun talking to you today. I really enjoyed our conversation.
Yeah.
Uzma, do you have any parting words for us?
This
have a
was
joke or
this was
anything?
awesome, and I love the way. Actually, I just want to mention that Jewel has been through the macro process. So when you go and you learn from her, she's already been through it, and I
Yeah.
think that is something you have to look at when you're trying to find a coach. Make sure they have been through what you want to go through or what you want to try, because
That's
that way you get the true authentic coach who knows what you're going through and who can give you the right answers.
And can I just
Sure,
add to that? Because I kind of almost didn't tell my story, but since you said it,
Okay.
and this is kind of like who I am attracting as well, like you're right, because my story was I didn't know what I didn't know. I come from a different culture, so I thought I already had some good habits, and oftentimes I would be just saying, well, I eat healthy. I know what good and bad food is. I know what's wrong and what's right. I don't do diets. I don't do whatever. But I was always hungry. I spent a lot of time at the gym without really looking like I spend a lot of time at the gym. And then as I'm going into my late 40s and all this, menopause and whatever, my weight stays the same, but I feel bigger. I feel like my clothes doesn't fit and all
Right.
of that. I was so afraid of the diets because I didn't want to be hurt, and I heard lots of horror stories, and it just didn't kind of like sync with me that you have to eliminate one food group over the other. I was just so confused, like many women I work with, and this is who I attract. So when they come to me and say like, well, I eat healthy, I'm like, yes, I know.
So
I've
this
been
is
there.
yeah,
And
this
that
is
drove
great
me-
to know about you, that you've had this you've been there, right? That's what I think
Yes.
Uzma was trying to say. Our coaches have all, we've all
Yes.
been where you are right now, and we know what it's like, so we can get you through it. So
Exactly.
yeah, amazing talking to you, Jules. Thanks again for coming
Yes,
on
thank
today.
Awesome. Don't
And,
forget to subscribe to the YouTube and the podcast. Tell your friends. This is Two Moms Save the World. Thanks, Jewel.
Thank you, ladies.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.